All right, welcome guys. Today we find ourselves out here in the country and we're going to take a look at a temple that was built in the early Ayutthaya style, so around the 1350s or so. So it has a little bit of it that's still the old part, and then it has a new working part. And we're going to check out Wat Khrutharam or Wat Khrut. This is the temple of the Garuda. And like I said, the original part was built in the early Ayutthaya style. Could have been 1350s to like 1420 or so. They're not really sure. All of this was captured by the Burmese and taken over, and all the records were destroyed and stuff like that. So we're going to take a look at it and let's see what we see. So it's right next to a canal. And this canal here actually goes off to the north, goes up near where like the elephant crawl and everything else was at, north of the island. And it could have been like connecting into like the old Lopburi River. And it's just out here about 15 minutes north or so of the main island. And it gets rural really fast in this area. You can see the banana trees, they got their gardens, stuff like that out here. Some of the old Thai wooden houses, just to give you an idea how country this temple is. These are the old monk quarters. You see they're made out of wood. And then it has chickens, everything else. They're living underneath these. Now, there's a dog under there. Now, the reason they're built on the stilts is a couple of reasons. The main reason is for the flooding. So if it floods, the water can just go right underneath it. They can get the boats out and do their thing. You got some chickens over there. The second is for insects. So you can build a house up high and the insects go right underneath it. Plus you could, if they're high enough, you can do your daily activities underneath it. You can park your cars, you can cook, you can hold your animals down below there, whatever you want. So here is the part that I really wanted to see. This is the old part of the temple. So this ordination hall is the original part of the temple. And you can see what it looks like. They got a Buddha statue here. This is on the back side. You got the Naga on the corners, Naga up there. It is really cool. So all those old temples that you see around that are just like the base, this is what they would have looked like when they were new, or whenever they were had a roof and walls and everything. And this is really cool. So you can see a couple of these chetties that were built out here, and these are just really old. There's not a whole lot left to some of the bricks, a little bit of the molding and stuff on them. And you can see they did the work around the windows. You can see up there the eaves are made out of wood. So they replaced those. Those are some of the things that they have to restore every little bit, because the jungle is really hard on them. You got a chetty here that they've actually restored. That looks really nice. And then the wall. All right, so let's go in here and take a look at this. So they got a couple Buddhas here. We got some of the murals over the door. The Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree, preaching to the disciples. Has some little wooden doors. Okay, so here is the Buddha in here. Wow, this is really nice. So they just have the plain plaster walls, has a wooden ceiling, and then the Buddha. Of course, the lights were added later, but you could still get a feel of what it would look like back in the day. Has the Buddha here with the Naga, and then the main Buddha. Now it has these strings, and they use those during the ceremony. So they has it tied to the Buddha's hand, you see that? And then it'll go out and everybody will have like a little string and they can hold it whenever the monks are doing a ceremony. So here's a good look. There's that chetty. Here's the building. And then some more of the little chetties that are basically in ruin. And then the gates that would have brought you in. And then this is the old part. And it's separated by this low wall. And there's the new part of the temple over there. So let's go take a look at it really quick. But I really wanted to see this old building. This is really cool. So here's one of the marker stones, or what they call the Sima. And that marks the responsibility of the head monk or the abbot. And what they do, they put like 7 of them. They have 6 and they'll bury one underneath the Buddha on the inside, or they'll have 9 and they'll have 8 outside and they'll bury one inside. And they have one more that's right on the top of that jetty, but most of them are missing, it looks like, from this this ordination hall. Here's the gate to get over there to it. Now, Wat or Bat, that comes from like an old word that means to separate. So that's why they always have these walls around the temple, is to separate the temple from like the real world. So here's part of the working part. There's the little bell tower. Oh, there's another one. And then you have the monk quarters. And then right here is the Garuda. Now the pragnam means like to get stronger. I guess these Garuda in like the stories is this is what can like defeat some of the Naga, like a weaker Naga. You see by the crowd, it's quite a popular place here. All right, let's go up into this wooden building here and see what it looks like. Okay, so inside this wooden building, you have the shrine with about 1 million little Buddhas up there. And this whole building is made out of wood. It has some pictures of the monks, some of the pictures of the amulets and stuff like that. And then they have the things you can buy to donate for the temple, the robes, stuff like that. Now these fans, they use it, that shows their ranking. And they get the fan from the king. So the monks will have these fans and it'll have kind of their standing of where they are. And that's a big deal for them. Over here is some of the monk quarters. You can see the monk on the floor over there drinking some water. And then over here is also some more of the monk quarters. So they have all their stuff out front. Now what's kind of interesting, you see all these little clay pots. That's what this area was famous for. This area here actually was a market, and they would make those clay water pots. And I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was like kind of like Tong Moon or something like that. And they would make these pots, and then they would fire them, and then they would sell them. And it was a pretty important thing for the temple. So it looks like this big hall is closed, so we don't get to see in it. So let's just take a quick look again. Here's the monk quarters, and then underneath all these buildings, you see the boats and you can hear the chickens. And then they have like an old part of the wall that's over here that's kind of fallen down. That's next to more of the monk quarters. And that's that. All right, guys, so that finishes up our little tour of this this little temple, Wat Khrutharam, or however you say it, but the monastery of the Garuda. So anyway, it's kind of interesting. I really like that old building. I was wanting to see a little bit more of it, but there's just not a whole lot here. Just the old ordination hall that's 600 plus years old. And that was the reason I stopped. It just caught my eye, so I came over here and took a look at it. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you click like and share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And leave me a comment if you want to know something more, or if you've been here or you want me to see something, tell me down in a comment down below, and I'll do my best to make a video or answer any questions. So as always, guys, remember, life is a journey, so enjoy.